Hello and welcome back. It's Froggy Friday again, and we are going to be making this super cute musical shaker, and that is the shape I'm using. This is going to go inside of our Froggy for today, and I will be coloring the raised part of the shaker in sapphire resin pigment. It's just regular resin dye, it's transparent, and I will be adding that pretty mixture of glitter up above that you see. That was actually a mixture I made for my college tumblers, so if you haven't seen that video, you should go check that out. It's a little long, but it's worth it. Oh, that sparkle. It's amazing. And it's a mix of white holographic, white opal, and gold holographic glitters. So you can see that I'm just filling the outer edges of those shakers. And now we're going to put some eyes into our frog. I'm using the UV resin method that I always use, and I picked some pretty yellow eyes that I thought sort of resembled gold, because this is going to be blue and gold. That is for the colors of my daughter's high school marching band. Now, being a bonehead, I either didn't record it or can't find it, I'm not sure, but I did pour a solid white background. And that's because I want the items in the shaker part of this to be very visible. I'm just dry testing the fit here before I continue on, and it will fit really nicely. In order to see the shaker in the frog, I need to have first a layer of totally clear resin poured. There's no sparkle, there's no nothing, it's just absolute clear. Now I'm picking the items to fill my shaker, and I'm going to be using a mixture of rhinestones, flatback pearls, no-hole pearls, and some resin bubbles. And of course, I'll have all of my materials linked down below in my description. You can definitely make these shakers with liquid in them, and a lot of people do. I will eventually do that at some point, but I prefer to do my shakers dry. I just feel like there's less of a chance of things going sideways there. If you've been watching me for longer than like 2 weeks, you'll know that Murphy's Law follows me around closely. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, so I try to avoid it whenever possible. Now what I'm doing is I am going around the outside of the shaker part with UV resin, and I have cut a little piece of acetate to put on there. I will go ahead and sort of push that down so that it's nice and connected with the UV resin, and then I will go ahead and cure that. This is all cured, and it's hard to see, but it does shake. I do go ahead and top the entire thing with another layer of UV resin, and I just make sure I sort of tease that out to all the edges and get all of this area covered. I do the entire thing so that there's not any sort of obvious lines or anything, and the surface tension of the UV resin will keep it in place for the most part. I want to make sure that I'm also covering the acetate part, not only for safety of not having things leak out of it, but also because if there are any small scratches or any imperfections in the acetate itself, the UV resin will fill those in and it will make it look a lot more clear. I go ahead and pop bubbles with my long neck lighter, and that goes under the UV lamp for a full 2-minute cure. Froggy Friday is a weekly amphibian collaboration hosted by Girl in the Garage, The Dragon's Cave, Nerd Goblin Art, Tim the Bass Resonator, and Gert Creates. As always, the playlist is in the description, and go check out those other videos. It's time to go ahead and pour the resin around this little shaker, and I'm using, again, the band colors. They are blue and gold, and I just used some mica powder to color these. Again, that'll be in the description. And I'm just sort of pouring them here and there. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit, but I don't want them to fully mix. Now, Mr. Kitschy's gonna love these colors too, because he went to Cal Berkeley for college, and these are their colors. Go Bears! Okay, it's time for the final layer, and I decided to do a clear layer with Interference Gold mica powder and Interference Blue mica powders. And these are just color shifting powders, and I wanted something sort of plain looking, but of course it's me, so it had to have sparkle. And that is just clear resin. I am reusing a cup as I usually do. When you're using mica powder and you mix it in, you need to make sure you let it sit, let the bubbles rise, and see if there's any unmixed powder, because it does like to hide in those bubbles. So don't forget to mix the crap out of your micas before you pour the resin. I love that color shift. It's so pretty. When I took him out of the curing machine, I realized that he was missing 2 front toes. I'm really not sure what happened, but to remedy that, I'm just putting on some UV resin, and I will go ahead and cure that for a full 2 minutes on both sides to make sure it's all nice and ready to go, and then we'll be able to demold. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm so bummed. I guess the blue and the gold resin somehow seeped under my shaker. So you can see the shaker itself, which is awesome, but you can't really see the treble clef behind it. If you look at it from the right angle, you can kind of see the outline of it, like you can tell something's there, but oh man, this did not turn out how I wanted it to. Froggy kiss. Well, I wouldn't say it's a total bust because the colors are really pretty, and that is a very sparkly band frog. I definitely want to give this a try again and see if I can get it to actually show up next time. I do think it's pretty cool how the curvature of the frog's back kind of magnifies the shaker part. It may not be perfect and it may not have turned out the way I wanted it to, but I still really like this musical frog, and I hope you like it too. Thanks so much for spending some of your Friday with me, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. Thanks for hopping by. I'll see you soon.